Okay. All right. So we are recording, and this is our Sunday night team huddle. It's our first huddle for October 2019. So it's October 6th, and my name is Missy Hides. I'm your National Vice President as well as an independent consultant with Arbonne, and just so excited to have so many of you on tonight with us. And if you are catching the recording, that's awesome. We are excited to have you be a part of this as well. So tonight, because it is our first huddle of the month, I wanted to start off with some recognition. And so I'm going to bring up just a quick image here. Hold on, see if I can get my technology to do what I want it to do. Yes, there we go. Okay, so can you all see that? Congratulations. Okay, so we had an awesome September. So proud of all of you and all of the things that we accomplished. But there are some things that I wanted to, why is that thing coming up? That's not what I wanted. Oh, sorry. I had a list of things up I wanted to share. So hopefully I can get to that. Give me 1 second, sorry. Just wanted to give some shout outs and some things that we did in September as a team that I'm just so proud of you guys for doing. And really, if I don't call your name tonight, don't take it as a personal, like that you didn't have a great month. You can. Every time, I was actually talking to my oldest one about this today. Every time you finish something, whether it's a month, whether it's an event, whether it's a sport, whether it's, a party, in many facets of life, you know that you've been successful when you can say, I gave my very best. And so if you know and you feel like you gave your very best in the month of September, then you can absolutely count it as a win. So I wanted to just give some shout outs for top sponsoring. We had some awesome sponsoring in the month, and so and they're not in alphabetical order, but they are as follows. We've got Nicole Hines, Christy Smith, Alicia Whitfield, Megan Rieken, and Amy Ford. So great job, ladies, on being the top 5 in personal sponsors. We also had a handful of people bonusing in their business, which always adds cash to your paycheck. And so those that got their cash bonus were myself, Alicia Whitfield, Nicole Hines, Megan Rieken, and Michelle Lee. And so that was super fun to see. If you're new and you're not sure what those cash bonuses are all about, you can go to the source policies and procedures and you can see those. But for districts, it's 5,000 in your central district with a minimum of 5 signups. And then for areas, it is 20,000 with a minimum of 10 signups. And then a big shout out for 2 consultants who are working hard to get to district, and they actually earned their consultant cash bonus, and that is for Katie Kluver and Kelsey Hines. And so just so proud of you all for just jumping in. Katie actually had a baby last month, so in the middle of birthing a baby, and she has another little toddler at home. She was able to do that, and Kelsey just started so strong out of the gate with her business. And so I'm just so proud of you guys for all of those things. And so tonight what we're going to do is I wanted to just make sure and touch base. And like before, the chat function is a great place to have some interaction, to comment, to ask questions, things like that you need. But there's a lot of things that we have that Arbonne has brought to the table for us that I want to just make sure we're clear on. If you've got questions, the chat box right now would be the great place to do that. But we've got free signups, okay? Last year and even earlier in this year, when free signups were available to us, do you know what this team did? We ran with it and we killed it. We killed it. And so I absolutely believe that we can do that the same. This month, there's so many people, because I know of all the work that this team put in this summer, right? When we weren't feeling like we were seeing a lot of fruit, we weren't feeling like we were getting a lot of results per se, but what we were doing, we were planting a lot of seeds. And so this is absolutely the time to circle back with anybody who has expired, because their sign up would be considered a new sign up with a 150 order or a 500 order, and they would get that waived. So if I know that I can often miss people, right, when it's their renewal month. And so this is a great opportunity to swing back with them and say, hey, I'd love to regain your business for another 12 months. And this is the perfect time to do that. Okay. This is also the time for all of those people that have been sitting on the fence. And I get it. It's only a $49 difference, but for some reason, free anything, free signups, free shipping, free anything, make people act with urgency in ways sometimes that they normally wouldn't. So this is the time to circle back with people again and say, hey, I'd love for you to be a part of my team. I'd love to help you get up and running as we close out 2019, because there's going to be some fun things that are going to start to happen here. For those of you that are new, December 1, Arbonne always launches the trip that you can earn. Okay. And I get it. We're just in the beginning of October, but guess what? There's 6 gals in this team that earned that trip this year, and they earned it because of work that they started doing right now. Okay. And so if you're like, I want to go on a free vacation because they're awesome. And if I have to guess, because it is Arbonne's 40th year, and typically every 5 years they do a cruise. If I had to guess, I think it's going to be a cruise. It might not, so don't hold me to it. Don't say oh, my MVP said it was going to be a cruise. It may not, but I do think it has a high likelihood of being a cruise. And that will happen typically it's next fall, October, September time. So if you would like to earn that cruise, you do that through personal sales and all of the business that flows out of your central district. Historically, that's how we've earned those trips, or how we've been able to earn those trips. So you earn those trips by what comes out of your central district. Well, who comes out of your central district? All the people that you're sponsoring right now, and all the people over the next 6 months that you're going to help get them to district or teach them how to get to area, as you yourself are promoting to district or to area. Okay. So that's one thing that I just want to make sure that you're painting a big vision for yourself of what is actually possible this month in regards to the free sign up. The other thing is the clean swap box. Who loves those boxes? I think those things are brilliant on every level. I went and traveled to North Carolina this weekend and worked with Michelle on the team, and we had a great time. And let me tell you guys, bringing that box to an event, I am finding is a super smart way to cover Arbonne healthy living inside and out. I still had the skincare set and I still had some of the nutrition, but what that box shows people is it's just a simple solution, a simple starting place for them to get a little bit of skincare and a little bit of nutrition. So if you follow me or not on Facebook, you may have seen this, but I posted last night because as I thought of it, I'm just curious. I really was legitimately curious, who does these subscription boxes? And so many people do Stitch Fix, do Birchbox, do Bark Box, which I guess is for dogs or something. There are a Butcher Box for meats and things. So many different kinds of boxes, and people are very used to it. And so, do I think all of you on the team need to go post on your Facebook wall tonight, who uses, box subscriptions? Maybe not, but it's a good place to start to have some conversation with people, because I know now who are people I can even just start that conversation with and say, hey, like, I wanted to tell you why I was asking who does box subscriptions is because Arbonne has started one. It's not a monthly subscription, but it's that same concept of where you're going to get 6 products. The average price point when you have those 6 products at the PC price is $35. That is an excellent price because the skincare we know is going to last them 5 to 6 months. And depending on how frequent of users they are with those nutrition 3 pieces, you know, those really could last them 2 months, if not a little bit longer, if they don't use, let's say, a shake every day or a Digestion Plus every day. Would we want them to do that? Yes. But if we're just still trying to introduce them or get them on product or bring them back into using product, that will last, you know, several months for them, for sure the skincare, but then also their nutrition. So like I said a couple days ago when we started the month, that is a box I would absolutely recommend you have and show it to everybody that you can. Bring it to your events, bring it to your coffee appointments, make some videos and share them on your stories, your Facebook or Instagram stories, and just invite people to be a part of it. And here's the thing, it has a 45-day money-back guarantee. If they try it and they don't like it, they get their money back. And I'm even willing, and you guys have to decide, everybody's an independent consultant, so you have to decide, but I'm willing to tell them, if you have to ship this back because you really just were not that satisfied with it, I will pay your shipping. So this is like literally zero risk because they get the free PC account, they get the clean swap box, and they have 45 days to see how much they're going to love it. And if they don't love it, I'll pay the $10 or less that it would cost to return it, right? But I don't think they're going to return it because they're going to love it. So use that as a way to really help leverage your month. Okay. Holiday line is still available. There's still good supplies, stocks, inventory on all of that. So keep utilizing that. I know we get really excited about it in September, and then sometimes we like forget about holiday, but we're actually just now heading into when people are thinking about holiday and really wanting to start their shopping and gift buying and things like that. Okay, so tonight what I wanted to share, because I was thinking about, I had some time in the car obviously yesterday driving home from North Carolina, praying about really what could I bring to this team in this season for all of us to have the best advantage possible. And really what kept coming to mind was the idea and the understanding that it's so vital to keep winning after you've had a win. And how do you keep winning after you've had a win? Because many times when you've had a win, when you've accomplished something really great in your life, when you've done something that you feel really proud of, what is the tendency? The tendency is to rest. The tendency is to pull back. The tendency is to slow down. But champions and winners that keep winning really do 3 things. And these are the 3 things that I wanted to bring to you all tonight. For you to just know, for you to kind of think on, to chew on, to really evaluate how can you implement that into your own personal business, because all of your businesses look different. All of your lives look different. All of your schedules look different. But these are some principles that I believe is what starts to separate those who win and win consistently and those who win sporadically. And those who win consistently are those who promote in this business, are those who walk the stage at GTC, are those who have a good consistent paycheck that's increasing, versus those that just win sporadically. Anybody can win sporadically, right? Anybody can have one hot month, but how do you start to hone the habits and the skills to be someone who wins and then wins again and wins again and wins again, right? So the first thing is You don't want to rest on last month's successes and wins. So if last month was one of the better months you've had, or I think for a lot of us, it was the best month we've had since last spring, right? Because summertime was kind of dry and like tough, right? So if September was a really good month for you, for activity, for sponsoring, for sales, recognize that, celebrate that, and enjoy that, but you can't rest on past successes. How many times have you been around somebody and they are telling you about a success or a win that they had from last year or 5 years ago? Or like, the high school football superstar who at the 15 or 20 year reunion is still living the glory days. And you're like, that happened a decade ago. Like what's your life looking like today, right? And so it's the same thing in this business. And it's not just for this month over last month, but it's if last year was a big year for you, or this spring was a big year, a big season for you, recognize it for what it is, but then work and not rest on that and kind of live in that place. Like it's when we have like those kind of mountaintop experiences or those great seasons in our life, and we can tend to want to just hang out there. Or we can tend, even though the days are moving and the weeks are moving on, we can want to kind of go back to like, yeah, but remember September was so awesome. So what I just want to encourage you is that you want to celebrate it, recognize it for what it is, but you can't rest on what you did last month, because in this business, what happened on October 1st? Everybody goes to what? 0. You go back to 0 and you start over. They don't carry over your sales from September. They don't carry over your sponsoring. So you have to start again, and just living in what you did last month or the last 90 days or the first half of this month isn't going to build this month. Okay, so that moves me into principle 2. My second point is work harder this month than you did last month. I will tell you, one of the biggest things that grew my business from RVP to ERVP to NVP was consistently working harder every month than I had worked the month before. And not resting on, oh my gosh, last month was an awesome month. I got in front of 50, 60 people. Whew, now I'm going to take a break. You can do that. But when you choose to do that, you slow down your business and you lose the momentum that you spent the last 30, 60, 90 days building. And if you're on this call tonight and you're like, I'm brand new, I don't even really know what you're talking about, or this sounds intense, this might not be for you. But as I look at this screen, I know there are a lot of you who have places that you want to move your business to by the end of this year. You have places you want to move your business to by GTC time, which is April. And in order to do that, you have to work harder this month than you did last month. And if you feel like you worked hard last month, awesome. You just work a little bit harder this month, but you certainly don't go backwards, okay? And in this business, you guys, do you know what hard work looks like? It looks like 15 hours a week of consistent activity. Can you do that? I'm a national vice president, and I really, yes, my travel time to get to events or get to launching people adds more than 15 hours a week to my schedule, but my actual activity of income producing time rarely exceeds 15 hours a week. Okay, so whether you work full time, whether you feel like you have a crazy busy schedule right now, I believe that if you want to be moving your business forward, what it requires, this hard work that it requires that I'm talking about, is a consistency of 15 hours a week. And if you are new on this call and you're like, I don't have 15 hours, or I don't want to put 15 hours a week, you don't have to. When you're brand new, you can put 5 hours in a week. You can put 10 hours in a week. You can even put 2 hours in a week. The biggest thing is being consistent with it. Many times it's not that people don't know what to do or they're not doing things. They're just not doing it consistently. So they work one day and then they take 4 days off. And then they work one day and they take 2 days off. And then they work one day and they take 7 days off. This is a business of incremental exponential growth that comes from daily consistent effort and seasons of consistent. Because mathematically, you can ask any national vice president, from a consultant going from start date to becoming a regional vice president is 9 to 12 months of having 40 conversations a month, but those 9 to 12 months must be in a row. And when you skip a month, you start over. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but that's what that looks like. So if you're ever wondering, like, what do you mean you can get to region in 9 to 12 months? It's possible. It's even less time than that. Fallon Cruz on our team did it in less time. Her consistent window was about 7 to 8 months, but it was month after month after month after month without a break. And that's what took her from being a consultant and a new district really to being a regional vice president in a short amount of time. So I'm just going to ask you, for those of you that want to make this Rocktober, make this your biggest October ever, to be willing to work harder these 31 days than you worked in September. Okay. And then the third thing that champions do that help them to keep winning after they've won is to think bigger and to think strategically and to look at, okay, what did I do in September that worked? And why did it work? And then how can I use what worked and why it worked to elevate this month? Because do you guys know the time that most people stop strategically thinking about their business or their success is when they've hit some level of success. Many times our VPs plane out after they promote because they've reached kind of that initial pinnacle of success in Arbonne. They got the car, they've got the income replacing, income, they've got the title, they got to walk the stage, and they kind of, consciously or not, they stop thinking about elevating from that level of success. And so it can happen at every level. And this is something I have been thinking about a lot since this summer, since we promoted, is how do we keep growing now that we promoted to nation and we promoted some regions? Because what I'm thinking now is, how do we shorten our growth curves? How do we get to people to nation quicker? How do we get them to region quicker? How do we get them wider in their businesses? How do we get people to area quicker? How do we get them teaching areas to promote areas quicker, right? That's that level of strategic thinking, because what we are doing, you all, is working, right? There's no denying it. It is working. But then we have to think about, why is it working? And then what can you be doing in your business to elevate and to take to kind of that next level what has been working? I was listening to a book last night on the way home by a guy named Andy Andrews, who I love, and he's he actually calls himself a noticer. Like, that's his title. He gets paid to notice things and to be observant. And he talked about how many people use the phrase, think outside of the box. Like, I'm an out of the box kind of a thinker. And he's like, but now we're living in such a time where he's like, everybody's out of the box. Everybody thinks outside of the box, right? So he said, we're no longer living in a time where we have to think outside of the box. Arbonne is a think outside of the box kind of a business opportunity, right? So how do you take your Arbonne business, now that you're already outside of the box of traditional employment, traditional earning, and how do you go further? And he was talking about thinking beyond the box and really going beyond, not even just what has always consistently like worked, but thinking about why it works, and then how can you improve? How can you get better? How can you streamline? So you thinking about that in your business, and some of those things, you all, are little things like being prepared the night before. Because guess what? If you got in front of 40 people last month, that's awesome. But could you have done that with less effort? Can you do that with less effort this month? So with that same amount of effort, you can now get in front of 60 people. And you might be thinking, well, like, how would I do that? Maybe being prepared the night before and setting 10 or 15 minutes before you go to bed and making a list of who am I going to reach out to, getting your samples ready, setting us some timers, some parameters on your time. You know, some of those things to just help you be a little bit more strategic and effective to take the success that you had last month and elevate it to that next level. Does that make sense? I feel like this is like bigger concept type stuff, but this is the kind of stuff, you guys, that moves businesses forward, moves your business forward, okay? Because you've heard me say it, that this is a business of Groundhog's Day, but this is also a business where we can be improving things. We can be improving and getting better, getting more efficient, more effective, more strategic. And I would be unwise to think that all of those ideas are only going to come from me, and then it's my job to tell you all that. You all have ideas. You all are seeing things in the field. You all are coming up with ideas, you know, or strategies. And so using that, not really changing per se what we're doing, but looking at it as how can I do what I've done that's been successful and get better at it and elevate it and kind of take it next level. Okay, so that's how winners keep winning in this business, is we don't rest on last month's successes. If you had some great launches or some great first conversations, this is the time to build on that. You're always thinking about building and adding to. You don't want to, you do want to, there's a phrase, you want to take a breath and not a break. And so this month, for those that want to, you're going to work harder this month than you did last month. And really my vision is that we're going to work harder every month, increasingly, until we get to those places that I know all of you want your businesses to be. And then as we're doing these things, being conscious to think beyond the box. Think of people that you haven't put on your list yet. Sit for a little bit and think, okay, who have I just not thought of yet? Who have I just not reached out to yet? Because my thinking is still small, or my thinking is still just outside the box, and I got to get like bigger level thinking. I got to get millionaire mindsets. I got to get ideas for the things that I want to start creating in my business, right? And when we start thinking along those lines, our brain will go to work to start to make those things happen for us. So I hope this is connecting with you guys. I feel like it's a little bit like maybe going over some heads. But it's such an important thing to think about as a business owner, because you are a business owner and you need to think about, is what I'm doing the most effective way to be using my time, or could I be more efficient? Could I streamline some things? I know they say to do some Zooms, but is there some ways that you just are feeling like I could just take this, a little bigger or next level or bigger picture and really help to elevate your businesses. So just checking the chat here before we wrap up the Clean Swap box. Okay, so yes, Tara, the Clean Swap box, it does say limited time. I don't know that answer. Give me 1 second. I might be able to find out for you guys while we're on here. Let me check the NBP page real quick. And see if it says. It does not, but I can find that out and post it on the team page so that we know. I'm guessing when they say limited time, it's because they have not decided to make it a permanent fixture yet, or perhaps in what we offer, like the hydration line is a permanent product line. And so I'm guessing that's why they don't have there's a time limit on, but I can find that. So before we wrap up, does anybody have, okay, I don't know who MCX is. On Facebook Live, they said this month only, like only for the month of October. That's what you guys are seeing? Yes, that was Michelle. Okay, all right. Well, if it's only for the month of October, then good, creates urgency. People need to buy it while it's available. But I'll double check that to make sure that that's what it is. But yeah, if you guys are saying that's what it is, then I'm going to guess that's what it is for sure. So anyways, does anybody else have any questions, comments, thoughts before we hop off for tonight? So good to see so many of your faces. Love when we gather like this. All right, well, if nobody has anything, thanks so much for hopping on. I will post the recording once it processes, but man, so excited. And if you haven't got Post-it notes up yet, get them up. They're just fun. I know they're stupid and they're little, and you might think will that really motivate me? I think it will. They're just fun. And even if you're brand new, put $100 increments so you can be whipping them off really quickly. Even make them $50 increments so you can pull them off really quickly and just feel like you're seeing some traction and some progress. So anyways, love you all so much. Thanks for hopping on. Have a great rest of your Sunday night and have a great start to the week.